Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maud Toussaint Como. This is the channel where we talk about fragrances and arts. Today I am very excited because it's my birthday month and I have decided to talk this whole month about all things happy, all things gracious, lovely, and amorous. Especially, this is the month of where we celebrate love. This is the month of Valentine, and this is the month of my birthday. I won't tell the exact day, I'll leave it as a surprise, but I will be all about happy. And I have found my happy with the latest fragrance, Delina La Rosée. I have a long love-hate relationship with the other Delina, so this is why I'm so excited to say publicly that I have found my Delina match finally. So, and I am just very excited about this latest Delina, and this is what I want to talk about. So, this is La Rosée, and the presentation is similar to the other ones, and I will get to talk about the other ones, but this is Delina La Rosée. So of course we have a crystal button on top. The presentation is impeccable, it's feminine, it's beautiful, and that's Delina La Rosée. Now, Delina is of course from Parfums de Marly, and many of you are familiar, but for those of you who are not familiar with the brand, this is of course a super high-end French brand, and they draw their inspiration from 18th century court of Louis XV, and Louis XV is known for being a king who really loved fragrances. So when you look at the bottle presentation and you see Royal Essence, this perfume house was created in 2009. So although it was created in 2009, it claims that, and rightfully so, that it makes fragrance that are inspired by the court of Louis XV, and these fragrances, although very modern, are fit for kings and queens in the court of Versailles in the 18th century. So each of the perfumes actually draws on the name of a horse. So Delina is meant to be a horse, and these are the horses that are really well known. They are the horses of Marly. So Marly was a chateau where the king had commissioned. So it was very popular to have sculptures of horses as ornamental features in gardens that had achieved a lot of popularity in the 18th century. So Louis XV had commissioned from a very famous sculptor named Guillaume Cousteau. I believe in 1743, he had commissioned him to sculpt those horses that they call chevaux de Marly for the Chateau de Marly. And these horses, which pictures I'm going to show briefly, were known at the onset as being masterpieces in French sculptural art. So those fragrances have this rich tradition and are inspired by this basically rich chateaus in France in the Louis XV court. Now, Parfums de Marly one of the most popular fragrances that the house has is Delina. And we have the original Delina, and then that was launched in 2017. And then in 2018, they had the exclusive Delina. And then finally in 2021, they have the Delina La Rosée. Now, La Rosée means dew. That's a morning dew. It's not rose. That's a morning dew. And it is inspired. It's really an ode to nature. This fragrance is an ode to nature. And it is, the perfumer is Quentin Beach. And Quentin was inspired by the young French ladies that used to soak their handkerchiefs in dew in the morning to moisturize their face in the 18th century. So the eau de parfum, as we can see in this frosted glass bottle, is essentially meant to just capture this beautiful dewy dew in the morning on beautiful, graceful roses, just nice pink roses. And the notes are, the top notes of this fragrance, it's just begins so fresh, so beautiful. Like I say, I found my match. There is no question about it. And it has the Delina DNA, of course, which I'll talk a little bit about. But the top notes are lychee, which was in the original Delina. And then, but the original Delina had lychee and rhubarb. And that was very, I would say, unique at the time, because it just made it very original. But this one doesn't have the rhubarb note. It has lychee, pear, bergamot essence. So at the onset, it's meant to be fresh. It's meant to be light. It's meant to be natured, inspired. And the hot note, like the original one, has a Turkish rose. But the original one in at the heart had the Turkish note, and it had vanilla. But this one has the Turkish rose, peony, and transparent flowers. So it's fruit and flower. Whereas the other one started with the fruit and the rhubarb, which gives it this sensuality, this tartness to it. This one opened much more fresher than the original, and then it moves to the beautiful flower, and the whole thing is anchored as on the base on soft wood and white musk, and then Haitian vetiver, whereas the original had the cashmere wood, the Haitian vetiver, and the musk. So the main difference between this one and the original, of course, is that this one is just this transparent, dewy water, and just delicate, very regal, very regal, very elegant, very regal, very elegant. And it's not really about comparing the three different fragrances. Clearly the inspirations are totally different, and so the original is really I really loved it, but because of the perhaps vanilla, it turned very sweet on me. But this one just remained very fresh because it opens with the bergamot, and then the very light peony rose that are not, and peony and Turkish rose, and that are not very really heavy because in the transparent flowers, the whole thing is about light, the whole thing is about transparent, the whole thing is about dewy, and the whole Haitian vetiver just ground it and makes it a very mature and beautiful and regal and sophisticated fragrance. I just couldn't be happier. I've had to, the other one didn't work as much for me. Let's put it this way. So I've actually given them away. But this one is here to stay. It's just very, very beautiful. So for those who love the first one, that is totally the right thing to do, to love the first Delina. But beyond the opening, just for me in particular, it just didn't feel like the match for me. I felt it would have been the perfect match if I were still partying in college and so forth. And given the time that we are now, I felt like this one just works perfectly. It's closer to nature, it's closer to serenity, but at the same time it's not infantile. It's elegant and it's just very beautiful. So I couldn't be happier with this latest version of Delina La Rosée. Now, just to give some quick comparison with the other one, which is the Delina Exclusive, that one is a powerhouse of elegance. There is no question about it. And the top note in that one is pear. So it has the pear like this one and the lychee like this one. So both this one and the Exclusive actually start quite similar. Except that the Exclusive doesn't have the bergamot essence that this one has, that makes this one even fresher. But the Delina Exclusive does start with the two out of the ingredients in the top of this one, which are pear and lychee. Now, beyond that, the Exclusive then change into this powerhouse of sophistication with Damascena Rosa, and then incense, and then vanilla and musk. It's a floral oriental fragrance that meant to be this rich liqueur, the rose, and rich oriental, like Thousand and Night, 1001 Nights. Stories of just dramas and exotic and even a little bit erotic. Just all encompassing in its a powerhouse of being drunken by the rose in the Exclusive. So the Exclusive clearly is very sophisticated. It's for a different moment. It's for evening. It's for perhaps more extensive gala type of situation. But right now, for this moment, this is my happy fragrance. I just have not been able to have enough of it since I have purchased it. The longevity to me is perfect. I can imagine that when it starts getting really hot, it's going to be that much more. When it warms up on the body, it's just going to be the perfect sophistication of a summer and spring fragrance. But even now, you know, with the dewy, watery feel to it, it just works so perfectly indoor or even outdoor. I just couldn't be happier with the fragrance. Clearly, the perfumer is this, you know, rising star. He has done so many fragrances, so he knows what he's doing. It's as if he read my mind, because although the other ones, the other Delinas are masterpiece of fragrances, I felt like the Delina group needed this new, airy, breathable, beautiful, and elegant addition to that family. and that's my perfect match. I've finally found my match in Delina, and I couldn't be happier with it. But whichever one of the Delina you love, you really cannot lose. You just have to find your perfect match. Now, I think there is a Delina for every one of us, and I just couldn't be happier. And that's my birthday month fragrance. I'll be talking about other happy fragrances this month because I want everything to be all about happy. So thanks for listening to my review of Delina La Rosée Morning Dew. And please like and subscribe. I am so pleased whenever I see comments and I'm able to interact with all of you. And there's going to be love or hate into these fragrances, but clearly these are fragrances to be reckoned with in terms of the inventiveness and the ability of the perfumer. So it takes perhaps time to understand those fragrances and to just find the one that speaks to you. And this one speaks to me. And until next time, bye.